Just ahead on American Black Journal, the latest on efforts to reduce Detroit's high infant mortality rate. We're going to talk about how the city is addressing the health concerns of both mothers and their babies. Plus, a local hip-hop artist talks about the inspiration behind her unique sound. Stay right there. American Black Journal starts now.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
For nearly 100 years, Ally has been a part of Detroit, and we give back by volunteering and donating in our community. We have a commitment to diversity and increasing economic mobility in our hometown. At Ally, we're dedicated to doing it right every single day.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. September is National Infant Mortality Awareness Month, and the city of Detroit wants families to know about the help that's available to support healthier moms and babies. Detroit's infant mortality rate is one of the highest in the country. Take a look at these alarming statistics. In July alone, 5 Detroit infants died because of unsafe sleep practices. Across the state, 150 babies die each year, and at least 2 infants in Michigan die each month from unsafe sleeping situations. Joining me now to talk about the city's battle against infant mortality is the Director of Family and Community Health, Yolanda Hill Ashford. She's joined by business owner and new mother, Tatiana Grant. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so those numbers are pretty alarming. I'm also alarmed by the reason, this unsafe sleeping practice. I know from having been the father of 2 infants at some point that that's something that they really stress everywhere you go before you have a kid, that you've got to be really careful about where they sleep and how they sleep. And yet we have 5 infants die in July in Detroit from unsafe sleeping habits, which suggests the message is not getting out.
Yeah, not only does it suggest that it's not getting out, it's not necessarily reaching, when it is getting out, the people who need it the most. And that's what we're mostly proud about at the Detroit Health Department. We are actually leading a number of activities, including an event we just recently had, which is an annual event to bring about awareness and to actually make sure we're meeting moms right where they are, so that we throw community baby showers, we hold trainings, we work with a number of partners, because of course we can't address this alone, to make sure that messages are getting out. And we're training healthcare providers, we're training public health workers, we're training daycare workers, and anyone who would touch a mom at any phase of her pregnancy and even post pregnancy. Yeah,
as I said in the open, it's National Infant Mortality Month, and so there's things going on to focus on it specifically, but this is a year-long effort, I know, for the city. You've got things going all the time to try to chip away at those numbers.
Absolutely. It's a never-ending issue, problem, or concern. Like you said, in July alone, we had 5 infants die. You know, 1 is too many, but 5 is crazy.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And so year-round, we're thinking strategically who we need to partner with, where we need to go with this message. We've recently increased our efforts to train first responders. And you would be amazed that even though the message is around, how many people don't necessarily notice that message until something happens.
Yeah, yeah. Tatiana, you are a new mother.
I
Congratulations.
am. Thank you.
Talk about sort of the process you went through in terms of having a child and knowing all of the things you're supposed to do and not supposed to do. but then sort of how that fits into this larger context of making sure that everybody knows those things before their babies are born.
Right. So I think as you're preparing for your child, you're taking the prenatal vitamins, you're getting the nursery ready, you're doing all these things, and you don't necessarily think about what happens once the child gets here. And so the good thing is to have resources like the Detroit Health Department. I knew nothing about the ABCs, to be honest with you. And so to know that and to have that in my back pocket is something that I use. George, who's my fiance, when it comes to having her at her grandparents' house, because we all know that sometimes grandparents have one way of doing things. I don't know if it doesn't seem that on the back was a thing in the past.
Sure.
They keep saying, like, there's all this new stuff. So for us, it's very important for us to know what to do, but then also for as Yolanda said, anyone who's going to provide care for our daughter to know that as well.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, one is too many. I cannot imagine having her if something were to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Did you find it easy to get that information?
If you know what to look for.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, it's not even on the radar to know I need to Google safe sleep practices
Right.
or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, at a
Right.
minimum, I'm thinking of what are the right diapers that we need and how do I nurse and things of that sort. That you're just thinking, okay, I'm gonna have a stroller or I'm gonna have a crib. I'm just gonna put the baby in there. Not necessarily, okay, this is the right way, things of that sort. To me, unless it's in your realm or
Right.
unless you have someone who is bringing that to top of mind, it's probably not even on your radar.
Yeah, yeah. How much of this is about the health of mothers distinct from the health of babies? In other words, you need mothers to be healthy to make sure that their kids are going to be healthy, both because of the physical connection while they're pregnant, but then also after the baby is born.
It's all connected. The health of the mother impacts her ability to care for her child and to even have a healthy pregnancy and then a healthy baby outcome. And if mom isn't healthy, she wouldn't be looking for how to sleep the baby properly. She'd be looking for how to take care of herself so that she can be around for the baby. And just getting a simple message about knowing the ABCs, alone on the back in a crib in a smoke-free environment, is the thing that she needs
Say
to
that
be
again,
having.
right? Alone on the back in a crib, ABCs. Right?
So alone, we promote same room but separate sleeping beds. On the back, I know traditionally, like you were mentioning, grandmas, that wasn't the case, but we know medically now that actually helps the baby if they're choking to throw up. In a crib, not in a car seat, not on a couch, not in an adult bed, without all of the trinkets that make us think that, these are comforting things to our babies when they're really comforting to us.
Yeah.
And then in a smoke-free environment, smoking plays a part on the health of mom and baby. And you know how you feel if you walk into a smoke-filled room.
Sure.
It takes your breath away.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what it does for a newborn or an infant.
Yeah, and when you're teaching these things in the city, one of the things you got to think about also, as I pointed out, that not just the health of the mother, but the access to health and the health support. I mean, this is such a city that deals with such poverty that complicates not just the message, but the effectiveness of the knowledge.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about the health department's effort around this issue of infant mortality. We have a hotline that you can call 961-BABY, and that's 961-2229. And you can get connected to a number of services, whether it's WIC, whether it's Sister Friends. And Sister Friends is a volunteer-based program where women from the community have said, hey, I want to give back. I want to help the next mother who maybe was like me or who just need a little extra help. And they hold a woman's hands through her first year of through her pregnancy and then throughout the baby's first year of life.
Yeah.
And they connect this woman to all the resources that she needs. If she needs transportation, we are partnering with Lyft to absolutely provide that transportation. If she needs to get connected to a doctor, say she doesn't have a medical home, she's using the emergency room, we connect her to a medical home. We are working very closely with Make Your Date, which is out of the Detroit Medical Center. So we are connecting women through 961 Baby to all of the services that they can need. If they need diapers, we get them to a diaper bank. If they need food, we get them to a food bank. So 961 Baby
Right.
is where we,
That's
you
where
know,
you can
tell
get help.
every woman to go, or every father.
Yeah. Tatiana, I'm curious about the things that sort of topped your list of pre-birth anxieties. What were the things that were sort of keeping you up when you're thinking about, okay, this is a human being that I'm bringing into the world and I'm responsible for. I need to make sure that that things go well.
So the first thing was childbirth itself.
Yeah, sure.
So, you know, just trying to grasp my brain around what that really looks like. Luckily for me, I did a lot of YouTube, some classes, reading books, and was able to do the majority of my labor natural. And so when Yolanda speaks of recovery, you know, if you have that luxury of, you know, being able to care for your child, that's one thing. But a lot of people who have C-sections and complications, that's not the case.
They can't do that.
Right. And so again, wanting to make sure that whoever's going to be caring for that child while the mother may be in bed and unable to carry, lift, whatever the case may be for that child is important. But in addition to that was just making sure that like she was smaller than her gestational age or whatever, so she was really, really tiny. And so making sure that we're holding her right, holding her neck, things of that sort were just definitely anxiety.
Right.
And then not knowing, I knew that I wanted to breastfeed, but I've heard so many complications about what that can and can't look like.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate that so far we're doing good.
And
but going
society
into
doesn't make that much easier either, right?
Oh, that's a whole,
There's
that's
not
a whole thing.
there's no cultural encouragement in the
Right.
business world, for instance, and in a lot of the places that we might go with our kids.
Yes. And you know, it's summer right now, so putting cover on her, she ends up respiring. So it's a lot of dynamics that go into that I'm learning on the cusp right now.
Yeah.
But those would be the main things I would say. And I'm sure as we, you know, progress with her development, it's going to be a whole new list.
There'll be a whole new list.
Right.
Trust me. The list keeps replenishing itself as they get older.
Right.
Yolanda was talking about the importance of support for mothers. Was that your experience too?
Yes. So, you know, having gone to the events and the programs, I've been so impressed with the community outreach staff. You know, at the walk, because they saw I had my stroller, you know, they came over and talked to me about the upcoming community baby showers, you know, said any supplies that you may need, pack and plays, you know, whatever the case may be. Like, it's really impressive to know the resources that are available, and when you talk about access, are accessible to people.
Right.
They just need to know where to go, essentially.
Yeah. Well, and also support of your friends and family.
Oh yeah. There's that whole side of things.
That becomes critical
So that you can
as
sleep.
well, right? Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
but that all goes to the health of the child as well.
Yes, and you know, postpartum, you know, there's varying levels of that when it comes to a mom, but from the things that I've read, that support system tends to be a really big factor on if it does impact you and you do get it. It's just how, you know, it's chemicals and things of that sort, but it's also how you adjust to life post-baby that ends up being a pretty huge factor. And that support, you know, my mom is watching Gianna right now, so, and it's because, you know, I won't be trusting anyone with my child for a while.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And your mom is your sister friend.
Yes,
right?
See,
absolutely.
I love that. And what's built naturally into her network is things that we have made possible for women who don't have that type of support through sister friends.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Okay. Well, congratulations on the program. Congratulations on the new baby.
you.
And
So
thanks
much.
both of you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Right, just ahead, a socially conscious hip-hop artist from Detroit talks about the inspiration for her music. But first, we want to continue our look back at this program over the last 50 years. Here's a 1988 Detroit Black Journal interview about health disparities in African Americans.
Is it lifestyle? Is it economics? What is the main factor that causes these problems for blacks, Dr. Vincent?
I don't think you can say that there's any one main factor. There are multiple factors, beginning with access to care and just lifestyles, as you indicated earlier. Many of the things that you talked about, people control themselves. Hypertension to a great degree by watching your weight, watching what you eat. And I'm sure that we'll have comments on the study on the women who smoke. The number of people that we're losing because of trauma, it's in our community, it's an unrealistic number. The narcotics problem, probably the leading cause of death among young blacks is related to trauma, yet related to the narcotics trade. But it's our lifestyle that creates much of the problem.
Well, you said access to. And obviously that, for many blacks, is an economic problem. Are we just going to have to look for better national health care to eradicate that side of the problem, or what do you see?
Nationalizing health care is a part of the answer. That is not going to solve, if everyone has insurance, that doesn't say that you still can't use illegal drugs. It still doesn't say that you can't overeat. So you still have to change your lifestyle. The way that you live, the way you conduct your life still has a great deal to do with how long you're going to live.
Well, Dr. Waller, and then you can jump right in. What's the problem? I mean, is it that we're off work too much, we're unemployed? Is it that we just don't have enough money to do so?
Well, healthy lifestyles are a product of good information and the ability to act on that information. And we know that a lot of the cigarette advertising and the alcohol advertising and the drug trade marketing is marketed at black neighborhoods. And to be able to resist those types of markets and to live a healthier lifestyle is kind of difficult. If you want to eat right and exercise and all those things take some component of money. Mm-hmm. So, as Dr. Vincent said, you do have a lot of control over the risk factors and how healthy you may be, but for many of our people, of black people or poor people, that control is not at hand.
A Detroit hip-hop artist is ready to take the world by storm with her unique lyrics and creative music. What started out as a way to express herself turned into a full-time passion for Nique Rhodes. Our colleagues at Detroit Performs spent time with the rap artist and caught her in action. Take a look.
I woke up this morning, a lot on my mind. If we gotta change the world, it's gotta start with that.
It's the greatest thing ever, just to be able to take an idea, create it, and have people like rock to your music.
Let's make love our #1 mission, cause love heals all, so let's get to the healing, real love.
I'm born and raised in Detroit all my life. Grew up on the west side. Hip-hop, it was really like a really positive outlet for me. It's just getting out those emotions and just being creative. Coming up, like I had a lot of like issues within the home, like family. My mom gave me a notebook. I specifically remember her giving me a notebook, and she told me, anything that you think or feel, write it down. And so probably I would say since like 7, I would just write poems and things like that. And then I was heavily involved in my church at the time, and we had a youth explosion. So it's like where different teens in the community, they would come and they would like showcase their talents. And so I did a poem, and somebody was like, yo, it sounds like you're rapping, you should try to start rapping.
Make my vision plain, write it down, focus on it, mission possible right now.
The history of hip hop is something that I grew up on, but I never really thought about it until somebody approached me and was like, you should try to rap, and it just came natural to me.
Dream chaser, realize dreams my way, dream chaser.
We are in the Hive rehearsal studios. It's the rehearsal space for me and my band. So we come here, we jam, we rehearse for upcoming shows. I'll come here occasionally and like write and rehearsal on different songs that I'm working on.
My job don't got me going anywhere no time soon. Don't like my major, I'm just trying to get up out of school.
The first stereotype that I always get is people don't even expect me to rap. The first thing people say, oh, you sing? And I'm like, no, I don't sing. And so they say, well, what do you do? And I'm like, I rap. And they're like, oh, really? You don't look like a rapper. As soon as like I start performing, they're like, oh, I didn't expect that. I think the second thing that is a misconception we have of the hypersexualized female hip hop artists that get a lot of mainstream appeal. And I'm definitely like the opposite of that. And I do it really almost like intentionally sometimes to really show like there's different facets of what a woman in hip hop looks like. And so I try to be that positive, socially conscious, and bring like a balance to what's perceived as what is a female hip hop artist. I really just try to use music as a tool to like uplift people. I think now more than ever people need to be inspired in some way. Peace, love, and revolution, those are like my key words. I definitely choose also to shed light on what's going on like socially in a creative way. Really just getting people to think about situations differently.
I'm riding around listening to the ghosts of the past, wondering what if their lives would have lasted. I'm talking Michael, Whitney, Aaliyah, Left Eye, Pac, Biggie, Marley, Hendrix, Cobain.
I come from the school of like Bob Marley and people like that who use music as a tool to push for social change and enlighten people and uplift people, and I think that's just needed now. Like we see the same issues that we saw back in the 50s and 60s. And music was the kind of the driver. Even if you look at like what's going on like politically, a lot of people are like, anti-establishment. We want change and we want, equality, and it's so many issues that are kind of like dominating right now. And I think self-reflection and just like having people be honest with themselves is the solution. You look at even the issue of like racism. That starts like you learn it and then you act it out, and it's your own personal, biases and prejudice against people. That starts internally. They can change whatever laws, but as long as people have a heart like that to look at somebody and make judgments off of somebody, laws can change, but people's hearts have to change.
Just wanna be great, run into my dreams, hope I don't be late, nah.
Hip hop is improvisation is rooted in that. And so for me, when I'm creating songs, typically I would start with a concept in mind. So I may say, I want to write about this topic, and then I'll connect with the producer I work with, and so they'll just pull up beats and whatever connects with me at the time. And I was like, okay, I like that beat. I was actually just sitting with my keyboard player, Barry, and he was just like playing beats, and if I hear something, I'm like, okay, I know I can write to that. It's very weird because there's no like ABC formula. It's literally like the words will just come to me.
God gave me back in May of '88. 20-something years later, I'm up at the plate and
I think as an artist, you're almost obligated to speak for other people because people are listening to your work and people are consuming your work. So they have to have something that they can relate to. I just wrote a song about Detroit, the water crisis here. It sparked that. The song I have called Rise Up is like 3 different stories in one song.
I know there's more to life than this. Rise up, where I'm at ain't good enough. Rise up.
Then I put some of my own personal life experiences, and so I really pull information and inspiration from everywhere.
Y'all, we gotta stop, take a look inside ourselves, search inside our hearts. Lack of love for self leaves little for the people. Don't hate your fellow man, hate the system that teach you.
My band is awesome. It's called the NLR Experience. I say we're a hip-hop fusion band because it's hip-hop, but we mix a lot of jazz in there. We mix some funk. There's some elements of rock in there, so it's pretty cool. Because now you're not only working with like yourself and just writing the songs, but you're bringing songs to musicians who can then interpret the songs in their own way musically. And so they add different flavor to it.
Love heals all.
I have this concept that everyone is a revolutionary, whether it's, your personal life, your community, and just really being empowered to do that, to be somebody that's gonna like stand up for the right thing and do the right thing and be proud of that, and to be a person that, lives a life of passion and just going for your goals. To see us eventually like be touring and making a living off of that, that's for sure a goal. And to just keep making music and keep encouraging people and inspiring people in any way through music, that's really the ultimate goal.
Love heals all.
That's our program for today. Thanks for watching. You can go to AmericanBlackJournal.org and get more information on our guests, as well as checking out a calendar of community events. Plus, you can always connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
As American Black Journal looks ahead at the next 50 years, we want to hear from you, the viewers. Tell us what you think of this program and what you'd like to see on future episodes. Visit AmericanBlackJournal.org to take a quick survey and share your opinion. Thank you.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
For nearly 100 years, Ally has been a part of Detroit, and we give back by volunteering and donating in our community. We have a commitment to diversity and increasing economic mobility in our hometown. At Ally, we're dedicated to doing it right every single day.